Good evening, I'm Guy Cater. Welcome to the Guy Cater Show. And what a wonderful show we have for you tonight. We have two superb guests. He's a rock and roller, but he's also the president of the Variety Artists Club of New Zealand. That's Tom Sharplin. My next guest, he'll bend your mind and he'll twist your mind and then he'll write about it. It's author, magician, hypnotist, Richard Webster. Tom Sharplin, so good to have you here, mate.
Thanks, Guy. Good to
Now,
be
Tom, you are, as well as being a living legend in rock and roll, you're the president of the Variety Artists Club of New Zealand. Now, for people that don't know what that is, tell us a bit about it.
Right, the Variety Artists Club of New Zealand, it was formed 50 years ago this year. We're having a big year this year. It was formed to give recognition to entertainers and variety artists in New Zealand and give them acknowledgement and for their work and effort. It was named after the great Benyon, who was a great hypnotist who toured around the world.
Oh, he's a magician.
From New Zealand. A magician. And,
yes.
And was he a hypnotist as well, or
no,
just a magician?
No, just a magician. Yeah.
But he was, I should know, I've read the book.
Yeah.
But he was renowned throughout the world and set a standard. And of course, from a New Zealand entertainment point of view, he was a great hero.
Yes.
And so the Benny was, we named the award the Benny. The award itself was designed by John Zalando, another famous entertainer in New Zealand, and it's been given out every year to different people, from Dame Malvina Major to Sir Howard Morrison, Rob Guest, Tina Cross, Suzanne Lynch, and yourself, and myself.
And yourself.
And lots and lots of other people, Rusty Greaves.
Yes,
and
yes.
So many household names in New Zealand that have been awarded the honour of having the Benny. And from my point of view, the Benny does give you recognition for the effort you've put in, and you can't do it alone either.
That's
in our
right.
industry. You have to.
Yes.
So the Variety Artists Club gets a lot of the entertainers together, and we can share bits about the business and experiences amongst ourselves. We're all working individually somewhere else by ourselves.
Of course.
The Variety
yes.
Artists Club was formed to sort of get in and get a focus on, like maybe a web page of the day.
Yes.
A living web
back
page.
Then? Nice analogy. I like that.
So I've got a list here of some of the names that were formed, and some of these names will be known to the listeners. At the first inaugural meeting of the Variety Artists Club was Les Andrews, Edgar Benyon, of course, Lou Clawson, the late Lou Clawson, Dave
Lou
Carroll.
Clawson, of course, first president of the Variety Artists Club.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yep. Peter Evans, Chick Littlewood, Simon Mihana, Mary Thrall, George Tumahai, John Zalando, Sally Metzger, Pat McMinn, just to name a few that were at the
And sadly,
inaugural.
there's only three of them left. That's
right.
Auntie Pat McMinn,
Yep.
Sally Metzger, who was Sally Phillips at the time.
Yep.
She's married to Derek Metzger
Yep.
in Sydney, and John Zalando.
That's right. Yeah.
Although we're not sure about John.
Well, he's a very good magician.
We had John in here a couple of weeks ago, and he was
He's
fantastic.
great,
Yeah,
Because I think I first saw him when I was 9 years old.
yeah.
And but getting back to the awards, we do have other awards that go out too, and we have a grand award evening on the 9th of October this year at the Crown Plaza Hotel.
Just next month.
Just next month, and we have a great production. And every night, you've been there
Yes.
probably most award evenings, and we always put on a fantastic show, a variety show that just keeps going all night. Fantastic. Yes. And so we endeavour to keep that going. We do have entertainment night once a month, the first Monday of the month at the Point Chev RSA in Auckland. And
that is that just for VAC
no,
members?
For VAC members and anyone else that's interested in coming along and sharing a variety of entertainment. Every month there's a whole different bag of entertainment placed out there, and it's fantastic.
Yes.
And we've just had our inaugural meeting in Hamilton, which is the last Monday of each month, and getting a sub-club going down in Hamilton.
Right, so the Hamilton one is purely a social club, is it?
Yes, well, they get together and they entertain each other a little bit and
Yes.
and sort of, it's not so much a produced show as such, it's more of getting the people together. Well, the inaugural night we had quite a good sort of shooting, some people from Tauranga have come through, and Tokoroa, and all around Cape Tiamutu, and they all come together, and we'll, if we can spread our fingers and get more entertainers near into them, we'll like it. We all benefit, that's what's good about it.
Of course, and for too long the Variety Artists Club has been an Auckland-based club, hasn't it? Yeah. So now spreading it out over the country, everybody can enjoy the benefits.
Yeah, it's been hard over the years. I think through the years they've tried to spread it out, but now, of course, communications are much better.
Much easier,
and
yes,
to work with.
yes.
So that's a big plus for us. The other big thing that we endeavour to do, and we do it, but we consistently sort of pushing uphill, is to get the younger people in.
Yes.
We do get some young talent come through. We give them opportunity to perform and that sort of thing. It's very hard to get young entertainers
You'll
today.
have to stop singing rock and roll and start singing rap.
Start singing rap? Well, yeah, but I thought I might become a magician.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they reckon that's pretty sort of the game to be in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, do you know tricks?
Well, actually, you know, I've done a little bit of magic. I shouldn't imagine you can do any magic, can you?
I've got a vast experience, but I've seen a
Really?
lot. I've watched a lot of YouTube. But I've got a card trick for you you might not know.
All right, I'd like to
I
see
want
it.
you for me to pick it. In the pack of cards, we've got two colours. What are they?
Black and red.
Pick one of those for me.
Red.
Red. So that leaves you with black.
Yes.
Now you're holding black. You've got two suits in black. Which one of those suits do you want to pick?
Clubs.
Okay, you've got clubs. So in clubs, you've got three cards, the picture cards.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
A jack of clubs, queen of clubs, and a king of clubs. Pick one of those for me.
And tell you?
You tell me.
Jack of
The
clubs.
jack of clubs. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Well, we better write it down. There it is. Is that the jack of clubs?
When did you do that?
I did that earlier on.
I just pick up the other pieces of paper. I want to make sure there's not 52 pieces of paper. Wow. I don't know if you can see that. Jack of clubs. Well, I'm amazed. That was fantastic, Tom.
Right. You're going to sing us a song?
One for the money, two for the show. For those that don't know, and I think everybody does, Tom is probably the greatest rock and roller in New Zealand's history. Because going back, talking about you for a moment, I remember King Creole's.
King Creole's?
That was in the Civic, wasn't it?
That was downstairs in the Civic Theatre building, yeah. That was about 1982, 83.
And you owned the club and ran it?
Well, no, I didn't own it. I was in partnership with the guy that had the lease on it.
Oh, right,
And,
right.
but basically, I run it, yeah, and made it my own, and it was very good. We had a lot of fun when we had great crowds. We had people used to come down there, like U2 came down 3 nights in a row.
Wow.
The Commodores would always pop in. Shakin' Stevens came down. And lots of other artists would come to town, and because we were open late, of course, and it was a rock and roll club, they'd come down to unwind. So I met quite a few people like that. Had guys, Ian Pace, the drummer from the Wings, and that up on Deep Purple, played for us one night, and we had so much fun, and we met so many people, and it was a great thing. And I just met someone the other day. They said, "Oh, I haven't seen you since King Creole's."
Yes, yeah.
And you think, wow, you touched a lot of people, and it was good. But 2 years in a residency, you get in a bit of a rut. You get too comfortable.
Do you enjoy touring?
Love it.
You do?
I love it. I like the challenge.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah. Actually, anything in the game I like is the challenge, because that's I think that makes life more worthwhile.
Yes.
If you have a challenge. I've always lived with the challenge. Look at me.
You've had the voice and 1.5 legs. It's been a good life for you, I think.
And so many great friends.
Yes.
In our game, we do make long-lasting friends. And
it's good you mention that, because when I was very young, and I kept saying I wanted to be something in show business, and I remember my folks and other people saying, "Oh, no, they're shady, those people." But really, there's been very few shady people in the 50 years I've done it, and I've made lifelong friends. It's
I think the shady ones maybe. Used to be, maybe, who knows, but nowadays the shady, they don't last long today.
Oh, no.
Shady in our game, because we all have to lean on each other a little bit at times, and we have to support each other all the time. And I don't.
Well, getting back to the Variety Artists Club, that's the support that everybody needs, and you can get it at that club. How do you join the Variety Artists Club these days? You don't have to be an entertainer.
No, you don't have to be an entertainer. You can go online and check our website out, www.vac.org.nz.
Excellent, .org.nz.
And anybody that sort of is associated with the industry, or not, some of the people, we have quite a few members that aren't necessarily in the industry, but
Yes.
have a great love of the industry, are passionate about the industry.
Yes.
And they may have married a dancer or something like that and got in amongst that sort of thing. And
Yes.
sort of, it's not the variety of the children's charity. That there is a bit of confusion at
Yes.
times about that. And it doesn't help me because I'm involved with both.
Yes.
But they're two different entities altogether.
So the Variety Arts Club New Zealand is really entertainers coming together as a body to entertain themselves, to discuss things amongst themselves.
And we
It's
reminisce about what's
reminisce,
gone
of
on
course.
over the past.
So it's a more social club.
Yeah, it is more a social club.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I've often wanted to ask you this question, which is nothing at all to do with what we're talking about, but the big TV entertainment talent quests. What's your opinion of them?
The modern ones, you're talking about X Factors and that
yes,
type of thing.
those where the young kids get television coverage, they get a big name and then nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's sad because I feel it takes these creative souls and tries to destroy them.
Yes.
And if you're no good to the TV producers, sorry,
Exactly.
you're rubbish.
Yes.
And you're known for that. It's like you can do it. You yourself. You can do 1,000 great shows, and not everyone will remember them. You do one bad show, and they'll never forget. And it's the same.
Yes. Yes.
And it's just a bit sad like that. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yes,
we've always been
it
up
is.
against it.
I was leading up to, I feel it's important for people to go up the rungs, to do
Well,
that. Yes.
True, because I feel if you, and some of these talent quests, shoot them up near the top of the ladder, and one mistake, they fall all the way down.
Yes.
And now if you work your way up, you know, you make one mistake, you only fall down one step.
That's right.
And
yes.
then you go up and you make another, you fall down one more step. You might fall down every step, but only one at a time if you're smart. Putting someone way at the top of the ladder and say, now, give us exactly what these experienced people can do. It's suicide for almost. Well, not suicide, but it's just, it just destroys, it must destroy the soul of a performer.
Yes. And a lot of those that actually win sort of
That's
fade
right.
into
It's not the greatest launch for your career.
No.
I mean, Stan Walker's been an exception. Stan's
Yes.
developed. I was got a real buzz when Stan won.
Yes.
You know, and but he's what I like about Stan now is he's singing better and better. You know, and that's good to see.
Well, the same can be said of you, Mr. Tom Sharplin. Last night in Hamilton, you were magnificent on that stage. You really were.
We're just off.
What have you got coming up? I know the Variety Artists Club Awards next month on the 9th of October at the Crown Plaza.
That's right.
6 p.m. Check with the secretary for tickets. Have a look at the website. But what about you, Tom Sharplin, the
I
man?
keep going. Me and the band Cadillacs. And we keep doing gigs. We're off to Rotorua next week, and most of the place we're doing something somewhere.
Yes, yeah.
We're not doing 6 nights a week like we used to in the pubs, but that's good.
Well, yeah.
To be honest, you know, I mean, I like going on the road, and when we go on the road, we'll do 6 nights because you're away from home, and that's all all the focus is about. But all the time, consistently, you know, you can't do that in New Zealand anyway because you market.
Right.
You
Yes.
oversaturate your market here.
Yes.
To survive in New Zealand, you can't go out there and bombard them all the time.
No, we are a really small population in comparison with the world. You're a high energy act. You're working all the time. Now I know you're younger than me, but is it straining these days, or you keep fit?
Well, I'm not an exercise nut.
Right.
But I watch a lot of sport. No, I took singing lessons years ago, and I knew I had to become a better singer if I wanted to carry on. So I took singing lessons from a tutor called Hubert Milford and Carter.
Oh yes.
Also taught Max Christ, Susie Lynch, Bunny Walters, and Donald McIntyre, a great bass singer. And that training and learning how to use the instrument of the voice is invaluable. I mean, I couldn't afford it when I was taking lessons because it was expensive. But I knew I had to get there, and I was getting there. And now I'm so thankful because I can sing for ages, and my voice is, I feel, getting better too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I think, you know, getting instruction, making sure you know what you're doing, you never stop learning, and so you keep challenging yourself. And that's, I think, for me, that's why I do get involved in charity work and things like that, because it keeps challenging.
Yes.
I also attend Toastmasters. I've been Toastmasters for 12 odd years. And because that's challenging. I don't like getting up at 5:30 in the morning every fortnight, but it's challenging. And you know, that's great. I love it.
That is challenging. There's not many performers get up at 5:30 in the morning. No.
No, good time to get home.
Yeah. Well, Tom, President of the Variety Artists Club in New Zealand, New Zealand's king of rock and roll. It's been a real pleasure, mate, having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Guy. It's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to the Guy Cater Show. My second guest tonight is a man whom I've had the utmost respect over many, many years, Richard Webster. Richard.
Well, it's great to be here.
Oh, it's lovely to have you. Your career so far, still going, has covered so many aspects of entertainment and literature. Now,
yes.
I first met you as Ricardo.
That's
Tell
right.
us a little bit about that.
I started off with Ricardo because we went through a bad time financially, and I was keen on magic, and I suddenly discovered I could earn about $12 a week, you know? And that made all the difference between struggling and getting by quite well.
Well, way back then.
Yeah.
And Ricardo was a delightful children's entertainer, and you and I used to cross over in
Yeah.
kindergartens and things a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was only a small part of what you do. How would you best describe yourself? I've been trying to think. Do I call you a mentalist, an author,
Yes.
or a magician?
Yes, yes. I used to have about 10 business cards at one time.
I can believe it.
And I produced whichever one was appropriate at the time.
So for our viewers, how would you describe yourself?
Nowadays, I describe myself as an author with still leanings towards entertainment where possible.
Yes, because you've been working in New Zealand for a long time now.
Yes, yes. Since 1971.
71.
Yes.
Good.
I didn't do the maths, but it's not as long as you or Tom.
But almost,
Yes.
getting there. Actually, we mentioned author, probably a good time to go into it. You've written over 100 books.
Yes, it's about 150 now.
But you
So-
started off as a ghostwriter.
Yes, yes,
What
I did.
exactly is a ghostwriter?
A ghostwriter writes books for other people and their name goes on the cover. And generally, no one knows that the person who the book is about did not write it.
So that aligns with magic and that it's cheating.
Yes, I don't think it is cheating. When I ghostwrote a book, I would
Yes.
get the person's story and I would retell it, and I could do it better than they could.
Yes, yes.
So I don't think it was cheating.
No.
People who read it did hopefully get their money's worth.
Oh, yes, yeah. No, my silly sense of humour.
Yeah.
You've written 100, but nowadays, how many have been under your own name?
Oh, I ghostwrote 30 books, and then I've done a few more. So I've ghostwritten about 33, I think.
All right, so
But I think probably about 120 under my own name. And I've also written books for myself under other names as well.
Right.
Because they've been books on different subjects, and I don't want to confuse my audience.
So what have you been writing about over all these years?
Generally New Age topics, just the things that interest
Right.
me. I got involved in palmistry when I was just a kid, and my first major book was a book on palmistry. I was lucky because I happened to be in Seattle at the time the book got launched, and I watched a program on television there called Northwest Afternoon. And when the program was over, I looked to see who the producer and director were, and I phoned them.
Yes.
And because I had an accent in Seattle, the next day I
Yes.
was on the program. And
Wow.
that helped sales. It started the sales going.
Yes.
And the next thing I was on a national show, the Mike and Maddie show. So that gave me a really good start to my writing career in the States.
Excellent. Before that, however, you were here in New Zealand.
Yes.
And you were reading ladies' palms.
Yes, I did
But that was illegal, Richard.
That's right. And that's what's
How
got
did
my
you get
writing
over
career.
that? Explain how you got over that.
I wrote a little 32-page pamphlet,
Yes.
and people bought that and got a free palm reading. And that was great. I thought I was set for life. But the trouble is, 6 weeks later, they came back wanting another reading, but they wanted another book.
Yes,
So I had to write
yeah.
another one, then another one, then another one. And eventually there were dozens of these things, and it took them longer to choose the book they wanted than it did to get their reading. But it got my writing career going.
Yes.
And it got me into the New Age, writing for the New Age market. Because prior to that, I was hoping to write the great New Zealand novel. But I think it was much
It's
more
still in the-
sensible to write. No, it's
No.
better to write commercially, I think.
Right, yes. I remember working as my clown character, Happy
Yes.
the Hobo, in Henderson Square when you were doing the palm
Oh,
reading.
yes, yes.
And the women would line up right down the mall,
Yes.
and we used to have a little fun explaining to them that it was illegal and they couldn't pay for it. Tell me the history of palm reading. It's obviously something that really, really fascinates people.
Yes. It looks as if it started independently in two places, in China and possibly in India. No one really knows. It came to Europe in the 1300s, quickly spread across. The gypsies adopted it very, very quickly.
Oh, really?
When they
Yes,
arrived in
yes.
Europe. And they used to go travelling across Europe. That
Well,
was
they were known
where
for
crossing
their
the palm with
spiritualism.
silver came into it.
Oh, really?
Yes. I had a funny experience seeing a gypsy read palms when I was living in Cornwall in England.
Oh, really?
It was 1968, so it's a long time ago now. But the gypsies arrived up on the hill, and everyone was waiting for the gypsy women to come down and read palms.
Wow.
And my landlady was very excited about this.
Yes.
And fortunately I was home when the gypsy woman arrived, and it was 2 and 6 pence. So my landlady paid it, and the gypsy looked at the palm and wove a wonderful story. Then all of a sudden she stopped and closed the hand up. And my landlady said, what happens next? And the gypsy said, well, that's on the other hand. That's another 2 and 6.
I love it. Do you still read palms?
Occasionally. Oh.
This is
Okay.
clean.
Yep. Yes, I prefer the clean ones. You are right-handed, I take
I am
it?
right-handed.
Yes, okay, good. The trouble is I know a little bit about you, so,
Yes, of course.
just a
Yeah.
little bit. You've got a square hand, which makes you very practical. You can fit into any type of situation. The length of your fingers make you a very, very quick thinker, so you're a jump ahead of most people. And you need to be busy to be happy. I don't think you'll ever retire, because you actually do need to be active and on the go. Your heartline is your emotional life. People close to you. You've had your share of ups and downs, as I know, of course, but you've entered a very, very good stage in your life. And the extra line here means you won't be lonely in your old age, which is something some people worry about. Okay, well, that's just a little bit. It takes an hour to do it, the whole thing properly, actually.
I'm just wishing I had 2 and 6 on reading. That was wonderful. This you would never combine with magic, would you?
No, it's a separate thing.
You still perform any magic?
Yes, I do a bit. I stopped for about 20 years.
Right.
My writing career took off, and there just was no time to promote myself and get the bookings and things. And
Right.
I was preoccupied with building up my writing career. But at that time, my publisher had a distributor in New Zealand, and I was out all the time speaking about my books. And that seemed to satisfy
Right, yes,
getting up on
yes.
stage.
Because
need.
regardless, we're all performers and we need
Yeah.
that.
Yes, that's right.
Because your hypnotism shows were brilliant. And am I right in thinking it was the first ever video tutorial
Yes, it was, yes.
of magic show, of
Yeah, of a
hypnotism
hypnotism
shows?
show, yes, it was.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Do you miss...
Miss it? Yes,
Yeah.
I do, from time to time. About 5 years ago, my publisher lost the distributor in New Zealand, and my book sort of disappeared from sight. And I was no longer being asked to stand up and give talks. So I thought, gee, I better get back into performing a little
Right.
bit again. So the last 5 years, I've got back into it again. I had plans of building it all up, but I forgot that I'm getting on in years. I've got grey hair now. I'm not
look,
the
just
person
for
I
men
used to
can
be.
fix that.
Oh, really? Really? Is that?
You don't have to stay
I'd never
grey.
have guessed.
Do you have any magic with you?
Yes. Would you like to see
I'd
something?
love to see some. Then we must talk about these books. But
Okay. Have you heard the superstition that it was around for hundreds of years that when someone was murdered, you would be able to see a picture of the person who did it in their eyes, because it was the last thing they saw?
I've heard of that.
You've heard
Yes.
Yeah. Some people still believe it. Would you? Oh, one deck of cards.
Cool.
Yep. Would you just touch any one of those? We're going to try and know which one.
That one there.
Okay, take it. Don't let me see it.
Right.
But have a look at it. Okay. Would you hold it up and have a proper look at it? Okay.
Yes.
Good. Now I want to look into your eyes. No, I think you need to really look into it. Okay, let me see. Hold, tilt your head just a little bit. That's it, that's it. It's a red card.
It's a red card.
I think it's a diamond, and it's an 8, 9. It's a 9. 9 of diamonds?
It is.
Is it? Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, I'll have to start doing this.
That's very good, Richard.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes. Would you like to see the difference between magic and mentalism?
Yes, I would, yeah.
Okay. You're a good mixer. Would you mix those up a little bit?
I'm not a good mixer of cards.
Oh, good. It'll be easier than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, they're good. But one thing mentalists do is they often make predictions. So I'm going to make a prediction as to what I think is going to happen. This is an experiment, so don't expect too much. My writing's so bad you won't be able to tell at the end anyway. Okay, so now we've mixed the cards, we've cut them, we've buried the cards.
Yes.
So now I'm going to deal some cards down, and I'd like you to say stop anytime you like. The sooner you do, the shorter this thing will take. But
Stop.
Right now, okay. So we now have 3 cards. Which is your psychic hand? Your left hand?
No, probably in my right hand.
Oh, okay. Would you put your right hand on one of those? Okay. What have you got there?
7 of hearts.
7 of hearts. Oh.
Now, I won't believe it if you've got 7 of hearts there. Oh, wow. You probably can't see that, but believe me, it says 7 of hearts. That was remarkable, Richard. That's very good.
Thank you.
The one thing we pride ourselves on, no camera trickery.
No.
But it just leaves me feeling more bewildered all the time. Now, I can read.
Yes.
Can't figure that trick out, but I can read. These books, these are just 3 of your books. 365 Ways to Attract Good Luck. Are these books still in publication?
Oh, yes, they're all
Tell us a
in
little
print.
bit about that.
I've always been interested in good luck because I've always considered myself a lucky person.
Yes.
And people say, how do you get good luck? I think it's your attitude, it's your whole approach to life, seeing the glass half full rather than half empty.
Right.
You basically attract good luck to you.
Right. And it says here that simple steps to take control of chance and improve your fortune.
Yes.
By Richard Webster. Body language, quick and easy.
Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is, I used to give workshops on this 30 plus years ago. Do you remember when I used to do workshops?
Oh, you did too.
They were on psychic subjects, on body language,
yes.
on memory training, all that sort of stuff. It's amazing the stuff I've had to do to make a living over the years. So I knew quite a bit about body language, and my publishers happened to mention they'd like a book on it, so it was quite an easy one for me to do.
All here, the Encyclopedia of Superstitions, Body Language, and 365 Ways to Attract Good Luck, all available at the moment, all by Richard Webster, all well worth purchasing, and Christmas is coming up.
Yes.
And Richard, I want to thank you so much for being in here today. It's been a real delight having you.
I've loved it. Thank you.
Me too.
Thank you very much, Carl.
Richard Webster. That's our show for tonight. Wasn't it fun? I'd like to thank my very special guests, Tom Sharplin and Richard Webster, and remind you to be back here next week, same time, same channel, for The Guy Cater Show. And remember, it's nice to be important, but it's much more important to be nice. Good night.